But that's not nothing. That's about 600,000 fans. That just allows there to be more attention, and hopefully with more attention, other things come about. There's not a direct like, oh, Adam comes in and all of a sudden we're getting a check for X, Y, and Z. Right now, the big thing is the Brazilian guy, right? Yeah. He is in a similar percentage shift as Adam was.
Stay fresh like a brand new whip. New smell, switching it up, two-step. They try to text, leaving my race.
Well, when Adam LZ joined FD, how did that kind of push FD even more? Because I know that brought a ton of his fan base to the sport. So was the viewership just skyrocketed? Did it help money-wise?
Not directly money-wise. I mean, he contributed about 5% of the overall audience the very first year that he was in.
5%?
When we've looked at it.
Wow.
But that's not nothing. That's about 600,000 fans. Yeah, that's about 600,000 viewers per round, or in aggregate. So yeah, for sure he contributed to, you know, bringing in new fans and all that kind of stuff. It's not when we do a broadcast, it's not like a television broadcast where the ratings determine how much money we make. Yeah. It doesn't matter if we do a million views or a million viewership on any given weekend, or 1.2 or 1.3 or 800,000. The sponsorship money stays the same, because it's not like when you go and buy a commercial on television, it's based off of the ratings. It's based off Nielsen reports. So what it does is it just allows there to be more attention, and hopefully with more attention, other things come about, whether it's partners that he has or partners that are interested in what used to be a fledgling sport, but is now like a you know, considerable player in the motorsport space. It does stuff like that. But there's not a direct like, oh, Adam comes in and all of a sudden we're getting a check for X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, I just want, the only reason I brought that up was to prove a point, because I see that on the internet a lot, that people will say LZ brought most of the fans, and then like if LZ gets knocked out, majority of the fans leave the event and all that stuff. I just don't think that's true. I think you carry your own fan base.
We've always had a very strong online fan base, you know, and we do that analysis to understand, like, okay, you can. So right now the big thing is the Brazilian guy, right? Yeah. And he is in a similar kind of percentage shift as Adam was. When Adam would get knocked out of competition, there were a few events where like 5% of the audience would fall away. We would go from, say, like 45,000 concurrents down to 40,000 or 37,000 or something like that. And that was pretty consistent. Now, not so much. People are tuning in whether he's at the event or not. And the new focus is the Brazilian audience is, you know, when their guy gets knocked out, they will leave kind of in that same percentage. So, you know, like in any other sport, whether it's a Conor McGregor fight or whether it's, you know, a personality or athlete that has a big presence, they are going to make a contribution in some way, shape, or form.
Of course, yeah.
And what that does to the sport is sometimes kind of hard to tell, but it is important that athletes are building their programs in such a way that they're getting as much exposure as they can. And that's why, like, our business model is like kind of a one of one. With the way that we do it is very, very unique relative to other sports. And it allows those guys to come on site, film, distribute content, monetize that content and all that kind of stuff, which is basically called a shared rights relationship that we have with teams. And so that's something that's always been really important to us. And it allows the cycle of growth for drivers and athletes to be able to continue over time.
That's nice. I like how it shifts like that with the Brazilian and all that. But
yeah. Look, they said that I couldn't do it, so I went and did it. W's only, you know I've been winning. Top of the world, the globe is spinning. If you know, you know I've been on a what? Mission. Go. Okay, let's get it. Got a little time on my hands like a wristwatch. I don't got time for the breaks and a pit stop. Race through the gridlock, take it like Chris Rock, right to the chin. Still